Yes, in the last class we have seen that multi-threaded programs, how to create thread using thread class, right? So by using thread class you are creating the threads, and now we are going to be learning this concept. Okay, so let us see the second method of creating a thread, that is by converting a class to a thread. So we are going to be learning how to convert a thread how to convert a class into a thread. First one is we are creating a thread class, already we have learned. Now we are going to be learning converting a class into a thread, right? So let us see, this is a very important topic, so you have to give more attention on this. So this is the question which is asking for several times. Let us see what steps we are going to be doing. Okay, now implementing the runnable interface. Okay, we can create thread by implementing runnable interface. So how can we create the thread? This is the second method. By using runnable interface it is possible. The runnable interface declares the run method that is required for implementing threads in our program. This runnable interface declares the run method that is required for implementing threads in our program. In your runnable interface, it consists of a run method, and you are implementing that thread in your program. Let us see what are the steps to be followed while implementing the thread classes. Okay, thread, right? First, declare the class as implementing the runnable interface. First you have to declare the class and it has to implement the runnable interface. Next, implement the run method. So you have to develop the run method. Create a thread by defining the object that is instantiated from the runnable class. Next, you have to supposed to create the object of a thread class, and it is instantiated from runnable class. So instantiation means you have to assign. Let us see, that is why you have to give more attention on this topic. Call the threads start method to run the thread. So next we have to supposed to create a start method to run the method. So first, what is the first step? You have to create the class and it has to implement the runnable interface. Next, we have to develop the run method. Next, we have to create the object of a thread class and it has to be passed into the runnable interface object. Okay, you have to assign it. Okay, and next one is call the thread start method and run the thread. So to understanding this program, these topics, let us concentrate this program. Now I am taking the class. What is the name of the class? X. So class X implements runnable. What does it mean? The class X inherits the features of runnable. The class X inherits the interface of runnable. Okay, here I am writing the public void run method. In this I am writing the same for int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, and I am displaying the I value. Okay, so last program only I am doing the same thing. Okay, but here instead of extends thread, what I am doing? Implements runnable I am doing. Okay, now I am writing one more class. The class consists of a main method, public static void main string args. Now please observe here, what is this? X runnable is equal to new x of. So for the class X you are creating the object. What is the name of the object? Runnable. Okay, now you just observe here, thread X is equal to new thread of. Okay, so for thread class, please observe here, I am using the runnable interface. For this runnable interface, you have to create the object of the class and you have to create the object of a thread class. Okay, it is inheriting the features of thread class. So for thread class, what you are defining? Thread object. While using the thread object, you are instantiating this object of the class. Okay, so then you are instantiating the object of X class to the thread class, then it becomes runnable interface. Okay, got it? Now I am calling through this object threadx dot start. For thread class, which object you have created? Threadx dot start. So whenever you call this start method, automatically this run method will be executed and it will display value from 1 to 10 and it last comes to the end of main thread. got it? So likewise it will be executed. Please once again observe this program carefully. What I am doing, I am defining the class implements means it is inheriting the interface. Which interface it is inheriting? It is inheriting the runnable interface, and the rest is the same thing. Public void run method, your loop is the same thing. Okay, and now I'm writing the another class which consists of a main method. In the main method, first I am creating the object of this class, right? X. The name of the object of the class is runnable. Okay, the name of the object of the class is runnable. Now you have created. After creation that object, now what is the second step? Please observe here. Create a thread by defining an object that is instantiated from the runnable class. This is the third point exactly I am doing. I am creating the thread object. Okay, for which class? Thread class. Okay, for thread class you are creating the object of a thread class. While creating, you are passing this object as an instantiation of runnable class. Okay, this object is acting as an instantiation object of this class. Okay, so afterwards you are calling this method. Whenever you call this method, this run method will be executed. Okay, now we'll see another topic. We will see this program in your lab program also. It is exist. Okay, likewise you can create, right, a number of classes. For example, you can create the same program. Class A implements runnable, class B implements runnable, class C implements runnable. You are writing the same thing. Now what you have to supposed to do here? Okay, so for understanding purpose, I am taking the first program, and I am doing the little modification. Okay, now I am taking the notepad. Yes, notepad, I am pasting, and for the class B also I am pasting, only for your understanding purpose. Okay, and copying this. So this is our program, right? If any mistakes exist, kindly notify me. Yes, Control C and Control V. Correct. And next we are writing this class here. So first, as it is, I am running this first method. Okay, I am writing this first method that is creation of thread class. So your creation of thread class. Okay, it is first method. I am not modifying anything. I am showing once again for your understanding purpose. Okay, yes. Modify here. You have to know what is the difference, right? So how we are doing that, you should know. Very important. Yes, now it is fine, I think so. Here it is mistake is there, right? Let me modify, and here also modify, and here also modify. Okay, and next here also modified, right? So this is the first method. So how to store this class thread test? Copying and giving file and saving. While saving, I'm ensuring that where I'm exactly storing, as you know, right? We should ensure that where exactly I'm storing. Please observe here, it is showing Turbo C3, right? I have to take JDK 1.4 in this bin folder, and here I have to paste .java. Okay, so this is my first method, right? So in the first method I am doing a little modification. You are getting this confusion, right? So for this, what I am doing, what is the name of a first class? Class A, right? So for class A, I am creating a thread 1 thread 1 is equal to new A of. Okay, and next coming B thread, this is the object I'm creating. Okay, thread 2 is equal to new D of. I'm creating the object, and I'm creating three objects. C is equal to c is equal, sorry, c thread 3 is equal to new c of, right? Afterwards what we have to do, our work is we have to start the thread. So how to start the thread? thread1 dot start method, right? This start start method you have to call, right? And I'm calling thread2 dot start. Yes, this is your first method, and I'm explaining the first program for your second method. Now I'm showing first and I'm saving this. Okay, after saving this you have to supposed to open command prompt cmd. Yes, you just observe here, got it. I'm opening the command prompt, and I'm taking the full screen, right? So here the default directory is showing. We have to log out default directory. We have to take a root directory, right? Now compile. What is the name of the file? Thread test java c thread test.java. You are compiled, so this much of an error is exist. So we have to identify line 2, line 2, line 13, line 19. Okay, line 2, let me take line 1, line 2. Here the space is there. Yes, I'm removing that space. Line, yes, I'm removing that space. Okay, and let me take the space, remove the space. Yes, now let me save it once again. Now let me save once again. I'm saving, I'm coming here and compiling. While compiling, one more is there, class B, right? Line number 13, line number 13. So to do this, line number 13 here, yes, the space is there, and where another one, line number 39, line number 18, not a statement, line number 18. If it is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? Okay, backspace, clear. Yes, now it is fine. Okay, let me say once again. Now come here and compile once again. Here the spaces are exist where 17 and 18, right? So let me take this is the space. Yes, no space, and it is not supposed to have spaces, right? Okay, now let me save it and check it. I'm compiling. Now it is not there, right? Clear. I'm clear the screen. I'm running once again. I'm compiling, and now to run java thread test. So if I run, I'm getting this output, right? Clear. So for the same program, what I'm doing, instead of extends, I'm making it as a, before that let me modify this program with thread test 1. Okay, this is first method. I'm going to be saving as with thread test 1.java, and I will do modification. Okay, this is the second method. Now this is second method. For the first program I'm doing the second method. Okay, second method, converting thread into class into thread, right? Class into thread. To do that, what we have to use here, we have to supposed to use implements runnable. Okay, here it is the same thing. I'm copying, instead of extends thread, what I'm doing, I'm pasting implements runnable. Got it? It is not there. That's it. Okay, so here also, here instead of extends thread, I'm pasting. Yes, that's it. So the rest of the thing is the same. Here the thread objects have created, right? While creating, afterwards you have to create the thread class objects. Okay, thread 1 is equal to new thread class object. It is okay. This is a class objects, and here new thread of I'm passing thread 1 here. Then what I did here, I pass means I instantiated thread object to thread class. Okay, so this is the instantiation of object to thread class. Got it? Yes, likewise you have created thread 1 and I'm taking another class thread 2. Thread 2 is equal to new thread of 1. Okay, I'm copying and pasting. Here I'm giving it as a thread 2. It is not 1, it is 2 because I have object name is thread 2, right? So I'm doing the same thing. So this is nothing but instantiation of thread 3 is equal to new, paste it and remove this new. Okay, here you are supplying the object of third, and here you have to start the thread now. So to start the thread you have to access the thread objects. What is the thread object? 1 dot start, and here 2 dot start, and here 3 dot start. So this is nothing but an second method, that is converting class into a thread. So if you want to convert the class, this is a class, you are converting into thread. So if you want to do that, you just write the implements of runnable, and in main method you have to create the object of the class, and these objects should be instantiated for the thread class. Okay, you are instantiating. Okay, instantiating thread object to your thread class. Okay, yes. Now let me save and come to your editor and compile now java c thread test1.java. So yes sir, here the mistakes. What is the mistake? Thread, right? Please observe here, spelling mistake, TH or EAD, right? TH or EAD, that I made a mistake, or E83, right? Let me save it and I'm coming to my editor and compiling. Yes, there is no error, right? CLS, I'm running Java. Let me run once again, compile once again, no error. I'm running Java thread test 1. So if I enter, it will working as the same as the first class. What is the first method? Converting a class into a taking the class as a thread, right? Taking the class as a thread. Okay, and what is the second one? Conversion of a class into a thread. Okay, so which is inheriting the thread concept, and another one is a converting the class into a thread. Got it? So likewise you are doing this program. Okay, yes, hope you have understand this concept. You have to do more practice on this. Got it? And next let us see some sample programs whichever is given. Creating multiple threads. Then how to create a multiple threads? So far you have been using only 2 threads, the main thread and one child thread. We are using one main thread and one child thread. However, your program can span as many threads as it need. So here one is acting as a main thread and another is acting as a child thread. That is only one thread, right? But your program requires so many of threads. To do that threads, let us see this following program which creates 3 child threads. Let us understand this program very carefully. It is creating 3 child threads. Okay, now what is the name of a class? Name of the class is new thread implements runnable. Implements runnable means you are converting this class into a thread, right? And I am declaring one variable, that is a string name. Here the thread object declaration. What is this? Thread T indicates thread object declaration instantiation. Okay, now you are constructing the constructor. This is the constructor, right? Name of the class. By using the name of the class you are constructing the method, then automatically it is a constructor. So you are taking the one way parameter. For that I am creating the thread name. Okay, whatever the variable I am using, I am passing this thread name. Now here the thread t object is declared. Now I am creating. What I am doing, I am creating that object. T is equal to new thread of this comma name. So it takes the parameter of this class and name, whatever the name you are supplied, that will be taken. Okay, system.out.println, you are displaying what you are displaying, new thread t, and you are calling t.start. So whenever you call this t.start, run method will be executed. Right here the run method is exists. Now you just observe here public void run method. In the try catch block we are writing this run method. In the try block you are writing for int I is equal to 5, I greater than 0, condition is true. Int I is equal to 5, I greater than 0, condition is true. Then it will enter into this. Then it is displaying the name plus I value. What is I value? 5. Okay, so afterwards what I am exactly doing here, thread dot sleep of 1000, thread dot sleep of 1000 means I am making the thread to wait of 1 second. 1000 seconds means 1000 means 1 second, right? So after displaying of a 5, it will wait for 1 second. Got it? So that is the block I have written the code. Okay, next I am writing the catch block. In the catch block, interrupted exception I am taking. Okay, I am defining the interrupted exception and its object, and I am displaying the name plus interrupted. Whatever the name you are giving to your thread, that name is interrupted. It is displaying whenever the error happens. Okay, afterwards you are exiting from the execution, means thread is ending. Okay, so this is the logic you have written. And now I am writing one more class. What is the name of a class? Multi-thread demo. In multi-thread demo I am using main method. In main method I am creating the object of this class, new thread of, and I am supplying 1, and I am supplying 1. Okay, so this one indicates the name of the object, and I am passing that the name of the object, and I am passing that. Yes, we are seeing now this sample program. Please give more attention on this sample program, otherwise it can make an head or tail. Okay, yes, now let us see what actually we are doing here. New thread of 1. So what is the name of a thread? 1, and you are supplying the value as 1. What is the name of the object? The name of the object is 1, and you are supplying the value is also 1. Okay, and here also you are creating the name of the object is 2, and you are supplying the value as 2 because constructor is there, right? Got it? Yes, I will explain this example by showing you. So you have created the 3 object, 1 2 3 object, and you are supplying the parameter as 1 2 3 because of this constructor. First time when it is called, it is a thread name is accepting as 1, and whenever calls a 2, it is accepting as a 2. Whenever calls a 3, it is accepting as a 3. Okay, name as 1. You are creating the new thread. While creating, it will accept as this thread name and 1. Got it? Whenever you call, it will execute. Okay, so and after the creation of a 3 object, I will explain neatly because we are taking the implements runnable, right? So after that try catch block, whenever the one thread is entered, after execution of one thread, I am making it as a 10 seconds to wait. What is the 10,000 indicates? 10 seconds to wait. Okay, so likewise it will evaluate this program by entering one thread. After execution of one thread, it waits for 1 second. Whenever it waits for 1 second, the another thread is entering for that job. Okay, so if you run this, you are creating thread 1 5 main, thread 2 5 main, thread 3 5 main, and first time 5 is print, 2 is print, 3 is print. Why? Because it is waiting for 1 second, and that 1 second the next thread starts. Okay, and whenever the second thread is entered, it is whenever waiting for the 1 second here, the thread 3 will enters. Okay, thread 3 will starts. Got it? As likewise these program will be evaluated. I will explain. I'm copying this program for your understanding purpose. Okay, I'm taking the new notepad, file new, and I'm saving the same thing. It is everything is right, and I'm taking this. Yes, now we will see what exactly we are creating here. So as we know, here only we are creating the thread class. Okay, as we are creating the thread class. If we get confusion, then let us take this, let it be here. Here you are creating the thread class. Okay, here you are creating the thread class. Now let me check here. Then what you are doing here, this is the one we should know. New thread of 1 in the sense you are creating a thread for this as 1 and you are supplying the value as 1. Okay, no problem. Can you understand, right? So for the class new thread, what is the object you have created? So this can be written like this also. Okay, I will show it here. For the class new thread, this is a class, right? New thread 1 is equal to, sorry, O should be capital. 1 is equal to new thread. You are creating, at creating time you are supplying the value as 1. Okay, so likewise you are doing, that's all. Got it? So what does it mean? You are creating the same thing like this. Okay, yes, now you are making it as a 2 and here it is 2. So I'm placing the 3 as the same thing. You can hope you are understanding this, right? Let me save it. How to save this? Let me check. What is the name of the thread? Multi-thread demo. I'm copying and I'm saving. While saving, I'm pasting .java and press the enter. Okay, so you are creating and you are supplying, and runnable interface is there. Here the thread is there. Thread class object you are creating here, and this whatever the value you are supplied, it comes here and created like this. Okay, now let me check. I'm running this program. cmd alt enter. Now cd slash cdjdk 1.4 / bin java c. What is the name of the class? Multi-thread demo. Okay, multi-thread demo.java. So there is no error, right? I'm running java multi-thread demo. So whenever you run, it is running like this. Please observe, it is taking 1 second gap. In the 1 second gap, the other thread is starting. The thread 1, thread 2, thread 3 is starting, and afterwards it is ending, right? So it is a fraction of seconds, it is happening that, and we are noticing that also. So once again I'm running. You are seeing in 1 second the thread 2 is starting. In waiting for that second thread 3 is starting. Okay, so the order is not the same. The order is the same, right? So it is waiting. After finishing that, it is exiting, right? So likewise your program is executing. Okay, so this is the program we have explained here. Please once again listen this program carefully. Your class creating, you are implementing the runnable, and you are defining the variable. Your thread object declaration, thread class object declaration. What is the thread class object you have declared? T. Okay, now you have constructed the constructor. So what is the constructor? You just observe the constructor, right? So now let us see what you are defining here. whatever the string new thread, this is the constructor, you are supplying the name of the thread, the name of the thread you are supplying is 1, the 1 will come here, and in the name it will store 1. Here t new thread of this thread is 1, that is 1 is happening, right? In your output you are identifying that 1, and it is displaying new thread plus t 1, and whenever you start it will come as 5 times, 5th time, 4th time, 3rd time, right? So you are identifying here 1 5 main, 1 5 main, okay, 1 5 and main, okay, the main thread here, this is taking as a main, okay. So likewise it will evaluate, so you have to give more attention. For 1 it is a 5, 2 it is a 5, 3 it is 5, for 1 it is 4, 2 it is 4, 3 it is 4, okay. Why it is? Because here you are making the thread to wait for 1 second, here you are making the thread to wait for 1 second, got it? In the try catch block you are making the thread to wait for 10 seconds, 10 seconds, not as a 10 second, 10 milliseconds, okay, 10 millisecond, here 1 millisecond, not as a 1 second, 1 millisecond, clear? Sorry, here it is 1 millisecond, here it is 10 millisecond, yes, 10 millisecond it will wait and it will display the output, okay. So as we are witnessed, whenever we run this program, and this is the output we are getting. And next, determining when a thread ends. So next our concept is determining when a thread ends. Already I told, this question is asked because this two method is very very important, hence we are using these methods. It is often useful to know when a thread has ended. So we have to supposed to know when a thread ended. Let us see. This is also very very important. It is often useful to know when a thread ended. Fortunately, thread provides two means by which you can determine if a thread has ended. So by using two of the methods, we can able to identify whether the thread has end or it is still running, okay. Let us see what are those. First, you can call isAlive method on the thread. If you use the isAlive method on the thread, then what it will happens? So it is determines whether the thread is still running. By using this isAlive method, what you are identifying, whether the thread is still running or not, you are identifying, okay. Then what is the general form of final boolean isAlive method? Final boolean isAlive method. The isAlive method returns true if the thread upon which it is called is still running. If the thread is still running, then it will return the true. Otherwise, if the thread has ended, it will return false, okay. Then what is the purpose of isAlive method? The isAlive method will return the true if the method is running, and it will return false if the method is not running. While isAlive is occasionally useful, the method that you will more commonly use to wait for a thread to finish called join. And isAlive method is occasionally useful, then the method you will more commonly use to wait for a thread to finish is called join method. Then the method of join is used to identify whether the thread has finished or not, okay. So here final void join throws interrupt exception is the syntax of this join method. This method waits until the thread on which it is called terminates. So how long it waits? Until the thread calls for terminates, okay. So if you are using the join method, means the thread is terminating. Its name comes from concept of a calling thread waiting until the specified thread joins it. So why it is comes the name as join, even though the thread is ends? Please observe the concept of calling thread waiting. What is the concept? Calling thread waiting until the specified thread joins it, okay. calling thread is waiting means the thread is waiting until the usage the thread has to end, terminate. Okay, so at that time it ends. To understanding this more concept, we would like to have one program. Here one program has given. Please understand this concept. Class new thread implements runnable. This is the last program string name thread t. Here the constructor is there. We are taking the name is equal to new thread name, right? Whatever the variable you have defined, here you are passing the thread name and you are creating the thread object, and the object you are supplying this parameter and you are displaying that thread and you are calling the start method. Whenever you call the start method, this run method will execute, and as we know what is the name of the thread and what is the time and how long we are making it waiting. Okay, here the catch block, it is interrupted, right, and it is exiting. So this is the last program itself we have taken, and here we are taking the new class. What is the name of the class? Demo join. In the demo join, what we are doing? Main method. In the main method, what you are doing? You are creating the object of this class. What is the name of the object? ob1. And while creating, you are passing the parameter as 1, right? This name is passing here and taking the name, and you are creating the object ob2 for the same class, and you are supplying the parameter as 2 because of the constructor, and ob3 you are supplying the constructor as parameter as 3, and now you are checking ob1 dot t. What is the t here? Thread object. Please observe it. T is equal to new thread of this comma name is there, right? Got it? Then what is the t here? It is a thread object. So ob1 object 1 dot thread is alive. You are checking whether still it is running or not. And in the same sense, you are taking the object 2 dot thread dot is alive method, whether you are checking whether the thread is running or not. Thread 3 is alive, that is object 3 dot t is a thread is alive method. You are checking whether it is running or not. If it is running, then it will enter into the try block, and once if it is a finish, waiting threads to finish, it will execute. I am checking ob1 dot t dot join. If it is a finish, it will come here. Okay, it's end. ob2 dot t dot join, it ends. ob3 dot t dot join, it ends. Also here also we are writing the catch block. If any mistake is happens, it will come here. After that, I am checking thread 1 is dot alive, ob1 dot t dot is alive method. I am checking whether it is ended or it is still running. Whether it is ended or still running. If it is ends, it will show here. If it is not ends, then the statement will execute. Okay, ob3 dot t dot is alive and main thread exiting, right? So if you try to run this program, threads are created, 1 2 3 thread is created. Here it is saying as a true 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 and waiting for thread to finish. So it has not finished, so hence it is running, and thread 1 is alive is false. Here it gives the false because thread is terminated. How we are identifying? By identifying this join method. Whenever you call this join method, it is showing as waiting for thread to finish. We are waiting for thread to finish, so it waits until the thread has to complete. Once it is complete, then if you test it, it says thread is not running. False indicates thread is not running. Hope you understand this concept. We will continue in the next class.